What's going on, everybody? It's Kensington Crease here, and today I am trying to get a backdrop really for new style of videos that are coming, which are reviews, because you mainly seen me do Let's Plays and guides, and the guides are really just Let's Plays. But today we're going to be looking at Borderlands 2, Commander Lilith, and the Fight for Sanctuary. So I have my script right here on my phone. This review will have spoilers for the DLC, so be warned. So when you first get into the game, if you create a brand new character, it lets you have a little downtime to edit your abilities and put skill points into your skill trees and figure out which one you want to go through. The other thing you get to do right after that is a fight that's a couple minutes long. I have it sped up, which you're probably seeing right now. That fight is rather difficult depending on the class you're playing as. I will admit, as a Mecro, it's not bad. The thing that makes it bad is the weapons that I have. So, I would suggest what's the word for it? Cautiously go into this in single player if you don't know what you're doing. If you do know what you're doing and you know where to go in Borderlands 2 to get weapon drops and everything else, go farm some weapons, because you have enough time in the beginning to use the teleporter to go back to standard Sanctuary. And yeah, I played this with 3 people in the same system as well. I was using the commando and we were getting wrecked, and it wasn't even funny, but we still had a blast. We still beat this part, but it's just one little thing to note. The video you were seeing is the video of the Necromancer stream that I played. The thing you should know is I go down the best friends, I think it's the best friends forever tree, otherwise known at launch the girlfriend tree. For when the character first came out, that's what it was called. That's the tree I go down because it buffs up your mech to save you 90% of the time. And I actually like that. If I want to have like a minion or a turret of some kind, I go down the route that makes it stronger and able to actually deal more damage. Now, this tree, I will say, lets it heal me some by giving me some shields recharge, and has an AoE thunderclap that helps out a lot. That's why I go down that tree. It's a mixture of DPS and survival for me. The tree that I go down next is the middle tree that lets me give element types, I believe, to the mech. And, that kind of stuff helps me out later on with more kinds of DPS. One thing I will state with the gameplay, because in a review you need to have a thing with gameplay. In this game, the controls feel responsive, just like you would think they would. And this is coming from a guy who went from Borderlands 1 with all the DLC on at 360 over to PC, played through Borderlands 1 again on PC, then went to Borderlands 2 on PC, then came back to 360 for pre-sequel, and has now replayed through most of Borderlands 1 on Xbox One, and I'm starting again on Xbox One with the pre-sequel and Borderlands 2. The game, I can just pick up and go, and there's nothing different with it. And like I said, this review will have spoilers, so just keep an eye out for that. The quest lines themselves are all what you would expect. There's I believe, no more than 20 quests. I will put a link in the description for the Borderlands fandom.wiki for the DLC, give you a list of the quests. They don't have pages made up for all the quests. There is only one quest that I have not complete because it is a level 40 quest, and I only got up to level 36 to 37 by the time I completed this. I feel the quest work is fine. There's a little gripes on me where it's multi-part, kind of like how in Borderlands 1 you had to build weapons. You had to find the pieces of the weapon, and they told you the different areas it went to, or you would go to find the different parts. They took that aspect, but made it more linear, where you have to go from the mission giver to the first objective, and then it'll update you and tell you to go to the second objective, third, fourth, instead of giving you the choice of where to go. It could have theoretically been done. I'm not going to say it can be, but I feel my basic understanding of how programming works, it could have been done where you would have listed all the areas that you would have to go to, all the people you would have to kill, and then just load in said person or said area with enemies when you went to that said area, because each area is a different load point. So that would have helped solve that problem. It would have left it more open, but I understand why they didn't, because that would have took a little bit more time to program. The game or the DLC wouldn't be able to be out as early as it was for the people who wanted to play it. Besides that little nitpick of mine, everything else for the quest lines felt right. You had to go to this spot to kill these enemies, or go to this spot and mine this stuff. It's what you would expect from Borderlands. Like, the quest felt fleshed out enough where you got enough rewards for it. And one of my favorite quests, and well, you see it in the spot where I'm showing the enemies. The enemies killed is you follow Tina on her escapade to be helpful and out in the field, and you find Butt Stallion. That is probably one of the funniest quests I've done, mainly because my character that I use in Borderlands 1, 90% of the time I'm now calling Mommy Morty. And yeah, that whole line of dialogue for that quest and the one after that I was complaining about, just like, I don't care if anything was wrong with the following quest, that dialogue was perfect. The dialogue in this quest with Tina was perfect. Even the other quest that you do with Tina and Lilith was even better. Like, the writing is on point. That is the main thing. Now, the creatures you end up fighting are plant-based creatures. You have plant bandits, midgets, psychos, and they all have their badass forms of each of them. And they even have I can't remember what they're called, but they're the ones where you shoot the helmet off and they get even madder and they like bulk out even more. They got plant versions of them too. Then you also fight the normal human creatures. You fight the skags. The other thing you fight are mechs. So you go to a couple areas that you've been to during Borderlands 1 and you fight the loaders again. The one thing I will admit, I loved each of the bosses in this game. Even the bosses that you go back through and do on for Mommy Morty, for the quest line that gives him something, those bosses are fun as well. Now, the ones I am showing you, I call Metal Gear, Dude Poison Ivy, what was it? Dude Poison Ivy something with venom injected. I forget exactly what I said to one of my friends, but it's a guy that you make a serum from after defeating him because the blood you brought didn't work. It got messed up somehow. The other one is legitimately a giant Metal Gear version of a loader. Then you have the final boss, and then the Dark Web. The Dark Web, I was laughing the entire time while fighting, and I really hope you guys enjoy the 4 clips of each of these. the element types, the only one that I feel doesn't work that well at all is explosive weapons, mainly because you're dealing with plant creatures. If you think about it in Pokemon terms, like if you do a heavy physical attack against a plant creature, most of the time the plant Pokemon is a defensive type, and it just does nothing to them. That's how the exploding weapons feel to me when dealing with these plant monsters. Now, the robots, or the mech, and the loaders, whatever you want to call them, use them like that and electricity all you want. They'll do just fine. Same with the normal bandits and stuff. The main one I used was slag, electricity, and fire. The fire is amazing on plant creatures. Fire is amazing on the normal humans. And it actually does decently well on the loaders. I guess I need to talk about the gold or the rainbow colored loot in this game. There will be some clips where you see me using it. One of them is a grenade that you'll see in the final boss fight, and you throw, it explodes, and then I think it does like a fire circle, and then it rains down grenades. Like, it's amazing, and it's part of a 3-piece set that gives you immunity to the plant infection. Now, I don't know if there's an achievement for the plant infection, but I'll have to figure that out on another character, because I'll go through that and get infected. The other one is a shield. The shield, I think, is what gives you the immunity, but having all three the shield gives you the immunity, the grenades deal the damage to the plants, and having those two with the rifle that you see me use in the boss fight, the final boss fight, just makes you move faster. And the rifle itself is amazing too. It's an auto rifle, assault rifle. It's rainbow colored, and it shoots a spread of fire. I think it's 4 or 5 shots in a wide arc, and 45 to 90 degree. I think it's more closer to 45, but it has a chance of lighting people on fire. And with that grenade, like, that stuff is amazing, and I need to grind out and get a better version of that for when I go do my second playthrough of the story, because that's going to be one of my main weapons. But the other thing is, there is one bandit, like the bigger car, the bandit car, not the little one you use in 1, but the new one for 2. That has a rainbow colored skin, which you see me use in the playthroughs as well. I enjoy that a lot. Now, all of this stuff, those are the 4 that I noticed. I picked up a skin for the Necromancer that makes her look like Moxie, but I don't know if that's part of the DLC or I just picked it up from the game. I don't really know, because I got so many skins. I got the car skin like 5-6 times, and I just sold it for money after I put one away in my bank. So it's not as hard getting the rainbow colored loot this time around. I also got an old grenade that I thought was new, but it isn't, and you see me geek out about it in one of the clips. It's called the Fastball. It makes fun of Major League and Wild Thing from the movie and his uncontrollable fastballs. Now, finally, we're going to talk about how I feel overall with the expansion pack. It took me, I'm going to say, close to 9 hours, give or take, to finish it. I feel like it's worth the time. If you get it now, it's free on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. I did not see a link for the 360 or PS3, so I'm thinking they expected everybody just to transition over to a new system, a modern system, I guess it would be, or the current system, whatever you want to call it. And that's, what they had, or why they put it out on these, and why you get the free character upgrade to benefit you from that. Because I was worried that I would have to restart Borderlands 2 from the beginning, play through 90% of that before I even got to be able to do this DLC to record it. But I didn't because of that, so I'm happy about it. My character on PC is 47. The character on here is 37, so it's not that big of a step back for me. The biggest thing is if you transfer, you lose your badass ranks. So keep that in mind. Now, if I'm wrong about that, please let me know, because I thought I noticed I lost badass ranks. Let's see, what else do we got? I feel like this DLC is a nice addition. It sets up stuff for 3. It doesn't jump straight into 3, but it gets things rolling for it. I was expecting this would show how the crew left Pandora, but they don't show that part. They just show the setup for it all. So the other thing I gotta note is the graphics. They look fantastic, like they always have. I like this art style. I don't notice a difference with the 4K from the 1080p, besides the fact that I could see through my scope clearer. That's the only difference I can tell. Besides that, if you guys know anything different, I know people are going to say, oh, 60 frames per second, blah, 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 blah. Look, I don't care about the frame rate. You know, I'm used to playing games on my PC back in the day at low, choppy frame rates. I can deal with that. I deal with it like when I was playing Super Mario Land 2 originally on the Super Game Boy before I cleaned both of them. That was running really choppy through most of it. I can deal with choppy frame rate. I can deal with graphics not being the fantastic. But if it stands out to me, that's what matters. And the one thing, like I said, that stood out is the lighting, where I could see through my scope. And I think, you know, it looks good. I can't wait to see what Borderlands 3 will do. I can't wait to see how the new Vault Hunters will be, just because of this one DLC. Overall, I enjoyed the DLC. I hope you guys did too. If you have it on Xbox One, pop a comment in the, pop a comment below the video and let me know, because I might actually try to play through Borderlands 2 fully on the second playthrough with the character I made for this, and I might try to get a group of people together to play it. Haven't fully decided yet, but, you know, I got it ready to go in case, you know, we do it. And if I do, I'll let whoever comments on this video know, or if you join my Patreon, you'll be the first to know, because I'll post what I plan to do with different things in there, and that's how I will get these special events like this going. It'll probably be in Patreon for 2 days before I post it in the comments for this video, and then later on the Facebook and Twitter as well. And don't forget to like, comment, share. Check the links down below for Facebook, Twitch. You're on YouTube, so there won't be a link for that. You'll have a link for PayPal and Patreon donations, as well as Extra Life. That's the big thing. Don't forget to check out that Extra Life. We're going to be doing a stream, I'm going to say in November, I think is when they normally do it, but I set it up really early this year so we can try to meet our goal. Been doing it, I think this is my 9th year, and we already have $10 or $20 donated, so that means a lot to me. It means a lot to the kids that it goes to. I take none of the profits from the Extra Life donations. They go all straight to the Children's Hospital over in St. Louis. So, don't forget to like, comment, share, like I said, and have a wonderful night. Thank you for joining. Peace out, everybody.